Coast,
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Furby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Hello, thank you for tuning in to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and the 99.5 FM. Welcome to your news at noon. I'm Kevin Smith, and these are the top stories we are tracking. 2 out of 5 companies vying to audit Exxon's costs affiliated with oil giant. International treaty allows oil company to sue Italy for banning oil exploration. Guyana could face similar fate. After 1 month in jail, mom of 6 seeks job to pay owed child support, and fisherman beaten and robbed by bandit. Meanwhile, Rob Street becoming a war zone between foreigners and bandits, and handyman's body found floating in Market Trench. Meanwhile, Palms accept pensioner who was abandoned by children at GPHC, and man found dead in alleyway after fight at nightclub. Meanwhile, men robbed while opening gate. Stay tuned to stay informed.
I'm in a rush. Digicel got me in a rush. Driving style for the summer. Digicel Summer Rush.
Nobody's doing it big like Digicel this summer. Top up with $1,000 or more and collect the letters to spell the word RUSH for a chance to win one of 3 brand new Toyota Rush SUVs. Yes, you heard it right. 3 brand new Toyota Rush SUVs.
Driving style for the summer. Hey, Digicel Summer Rush.
Start topping up now.
Now for the news in detail. Since issuing its invitation in April for interested companies to submit bids to audit ExxonMobil's 2018 to 2020 costs, 5 entities came forth in hopes of being selected for the job. These companies are Bayface Oil and Gas Consultants, Rosa Correa and Associados, in partnership with Swall House Partners, Gaffney Klein and Associates in partnership with Squire Patton Boggs, Calendar Law Firm, and Eccleston Financial and Professional Services. Upon preliminary review of the companies vying to verify ExxonMobil's costs, Kaieteur has discovered that at least 2 out of the 5 interested companies and or their primaries are associated with the U.S. oil giant. One would recall that in January of 2020, Bayface, a company headquartered in United Kingdom, was hired under the former APNU-AFC administration to review the field development plans for Payara, Exxon's 3rd development offshore Guyana. During that same period, we had reported that the company was not only a client of ExxonMobil, but even a number of its primary contractors are working in Guyana. And moving on, according to international media house The Guardian, Italy could be forced to pay millions of pounds in damages to a UK oil company after banning new drilling near its coast. This perplexing occurrence was made possible by an obscure legal mechanism which allows fossil fuel companies to sue governments. The suit against the Italian government follows the passage of laws to protect the environment and has sparked outrage amid fears that such cases are slowing down action on the climate crisis. The media house notes that there had already been a wave of opposition to the project, with protests that drew tens of thousands of people. Within 2 years, the campaign won over the Italian parliament, which imposed a ban on oil and gas projects within 12 nautical miles of the Italian coast. And moving on, a 28-year-old mother of 6 who reportedly spent 1 month in jail for not paying a total of $550,000 in child support is now seeking a job to cancel the owed debt. Baby Ali, a resident of Beehive on the east coast of Demerara, and was only released from prison last Thursday. Scared to return to jail, the woman is desperately looking for a job so that she can earn some money to pay off the owed child support. The mother of 6 told reporters yesterday that she previously worked as a domestic worker and would accept any similar job she can find at the moment. Questioned by reporters as to how she ended up in such a situation, the woman claimed that 5 years ago she decided to end the relationship with her husband after enduring years of abuse. The relationship they had shared produced 5 children, 3 boys and 2 girls. And now let's tell you, while waiting on transportation to go about plying his trade, a fisherman was beaten and robbed by one of 3 suspects. According to a police report, the 42-year-old was at Unity Junction on the east coast of Demerara at 5 hours on Saturday. At the time, the man had noticed a red motor car with 3 occupants approaching him. One of the occupants exited the vehicle and was armed with a steel bar. The suspect then snatched the victim's Samsung A10 phone from him before delivering several lashes about the man's body and head. The suspects immediately fled the scene. One of the 3 suspects, known as Thick Slice, was contacted and arrested while checks are being made for the other 2. And now let's tell you, a Venezuelan national with Guyanese roots was yesterday found dead in an alleyway located in Albertown mere hours after he had reportedly gotten into an altercation with a group of men at the Rio nightclub. The dead man has been identified as 32-year-old Ian Singh, better known as Caracas, of Cumming Street, Georgetown. His remains were found just around 6 hours, shirtless and lying in a pool of blood with multiple injuries to the head and about the body. It is believed that Singh might have died from multiple stab wounds he possibly received from his killers. So far, police are still to arrest the suspect or suspects in the case. Nevertheless, based on preliminary investigations conducted, it is believed by detectives that his killing might have stemmed from an altercation he had at the nightclub. Based on information received from Singh's friends, the altercation between him and the men took place around 4 a.m. And moving on, Robb Street, Georgetown is on the verge of becoming a quote-unquote war zone between the foreigners and the locals, since there are increasing incidents of the former being repeatedly targeted for acts of robbery. Yesterday, when Kaieteur visited the area, some Venezuelans who took up residency there highlighted some of the attacks that they see taking place and what they too are enduring. Robb Street over the years has been an area that is highly populated by foreigners, mainly Brazilians, Cubans, and more recently Venezuelans. The Venezuelans told reporters that it was only last Friday night that 2 women who lived in an apartment building on Cumming Street heading home were attacked and robbed by bandits. One of the women during the ordeal was stabbed while the other escaped unharmed. It is alleged that the men took away the injured woman's belongings, which included her cell phone. Get the full details in today's Kaieteur News. You're listening to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and of course 99.5 FM. This is your news at noon. We will return after the break.
Guyana, please join me on the Glenn Lal Show, 99.1, 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio, every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast of the next day at 11 a.m. just in case you miss that program.
Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. The remains of a handyman were yesterday discovered floating in a canal along the Maka access road on the east bank of Demerara. The dead handyman has been identified as 63-year-old Joseph Kurt of Prospect, Maka. According to police, his corpse was spotted in a trench in the vicinity of 4th Bridge by a passerby. The police were alerted of the discovery around 10 hours 30, and investigators were sent to the scene immediately after. They reported that Kurt's remains were found clad in a red jersey and multicolored pants, while adding that marks of swelling were seen around his left eye. The investigators learned as well that Kurt is known in the community as an alcoholic who did handyman services for residents living in the area. After wrapping up preliminary investigations, his body was fished out of the trench and taken to the Memorial Gardens, where it is awaiting an autopsy to determine the cause of death. Meanwhile, the Palms Geriatric Home recently accepted as a resident Mr. Ovid, called Joku, of Enterprise East Coast Demerara. The pensioner was reportedly abandoned by relatives at a Georgetown Public Hospital last month. Following this, we had reported that the hospital had reached out to the Palms to accommodate him, but the staff there had refused to accept him due to the lack of space, in addition to his inability to walk and do other things for himself. This state of affairs has since changed, with the pensioner now being housed at the Palms. Mr. Ovid was admitted to GPHC on July 12th for an abscess. This was the last day he saw or heard from any of his relatives. Now, let's tell you, CCTV footage has captured yet another brazen robbery taking place in the city. This time around, the victims were two men opening their gate to their home. Based on the footage, which was uploaded on Facebook, the men were attacked by four motorbike bandits sometime after 6 hours on July 20th. The victims had pulled up in front of their house on a scooter. The pillion rider got off and proceeded to open the gate while the rider remained on the scooter. As the pillion rider was opening the gate, the CCTV camera captured four men on two XR motorcycles passing by. They rode past but returned seconds later. The pillion riders of the XR bikes then approached the unsuspecting victims. One of them had on a grey hoodie and was armed with a handgun. Get the full details in today's Kaieteur News. And now for your COVID-19 update, Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony is appealing to persons awaiting their second dose of the Sputnik 5 COVID-19 vaccine to be patient as the government is working to acquire the vaccines. Dr. Anthony was keen to note that the first doses of the Sputnik 5 vaccines are still available and urged the public to get inoculated. The other vaccines available in Guyana at the moment are the Oxford AstraZeneca and Sinopharm. Guyana is also awaiting a donation of 84,800 AstraZeneca doses from the UK. To date, 249,908 adults in Guyana have taken their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, while 136,919 adults have been fully immunized. And yesterday, the Ministry of Health reported that 5 more persons who tested positive for the COVID-19 have died. As a result of this, Guyana's COVID-19 death toll has moved to 546. According to the ministry, the latest fatalities are that of 3 women, a 65-year-old, a 77-year-old, and a 59-year-old, all from Region 4, and 2 men, an 82-year-old from Region 6 and a 64-year-old from Region 3. 74 new infections were recorded, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 22,597. 12 patients are in the COVID-19 ICU, 87 persons in institutional isolation, 759 in home isolation, and 4 in institutional quarantine. To date, a total of 21,193 persons have recovered from the virus. With the time now moving on to 12 hours 22, coming up next, the page 7 of the Kaieteur News dedicated to being blunt. It is now 1 year since the PPPC government is in office, and Guyana continues to suffer from a transparency deficit, especially in the oil sector. The country is yet to have proper production reports regarding the Stabroek Block oil. ExxonMobil's local content reports continue to be hidden from the public's eye, and the last audit report on close to $1 billion spent by ExxonMobil remains cloaked by veils of secrecy. To President Irfan Ali and Vice President Dr. Bharat Jagdeo, this is not what you promised. This is not what the people voted for. It is time you honor their promise to ensure Guyana's oil sector is illuminated by transparency and accountability. And with that, we've come to the end of today's News at Noon. Kevin Smith here. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's Newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
Coming up, a short presentation from the publisher of the Kaieteur News, Mr. Glenn Lal, on the oil and gas sector in Guyana. Remember, there's an entire playlist full of these very informative videos found right on our YouTube channel at Kaieteur Radio.
Guyana, I have a question for you. Who goes into a business with a partner in which he gives you a limited time to verify the bills he's spending? Well, that is what ExxonMobil and the oil people doing to us. Yes, it is Raphael Trotman who signed that agreement in which Guyana has only 2 years to check and verify all expenses Exxon threw at us. When all over the world, oil countries demands no less than 5 years to do their checking, Guyana settled for 2. Guyana,
has gotten over 10 billion US dollar in bills so far from Lisa 1 and Lisa 2. And the 2 years already expire on us to check that. So we have to accept and pay that like an idiot, like a fool. Yes. Yes. Now, brothers and sisters, we have the third project Payara, in which another 10 billion US dollar in bills have been thrown at us to check. And the time is already running out too on this one to check. And what are we hearing from Jagdeo, the Vice President? Yes, them now trying to put together a team to check it, to verify these bills. Man, something is wrong. Something is wrong in this country. 6 years now we discover oil, and these financial gurus can't put together an audit team on to now. What a Guyana this is. What a way to run country, guys. You doing business with a partner, and he gives you 1 week to check the bills, and if you don't check it within that time, you have to accept whatever he throws at you. What is going on here in this country, guys? So if he buys a bundle bora, let's say for $10,000, a tin of baby milk for $6,000, a gallon of rice for $5,000, a hammer for $25,000, or a spade for 20 grand, and you don't check it on time, you have to pay that. You hear me? You have to pay it. This is what our leaders telling this nation, guys, telling me and you. Guys, you gotta wake up. We need to wake up. We need to say something. We need to do something now and quickly before it's too late. Stop running around for 25,000 COVID money, hamper money, in which you can get $2.5 million every month by just speaking out against this highway robbery that is being committed by ExxonMobil and our backward leaders, slothful leaders we have, both of them. So if Guyana don't find a team in time, brothers and sisters, to check this other $10 billion from Payara, cat yam, all of we dinner with those bills. Guys, not even a preppy student would sign terms and conditions like that in a contract. Agreeing to just 2 years for check billions upon billions of American dollars, man. Hear how much more sickening this robbing contract gets. All those expenses, those costs, let's say tallied up to $100 million a day, the oil company is allowed to take out 75% of that every day before profit is shared. So out of the $100 million, they take out $75 million, then profits is shared. So each party gets $12.5 million each. Guyana get 12.5, while they walk away with $87.5 million a day. Guys, if you're worried about what you just heard, just listen to this. Out of we $12.5 million we get, Raphael Trotman agreed in the contract that Guyana will pay Exxon taxes out of that. Yes, take out 25% taxes of that figure, Guyana leaves with barely 9 million. So ExxonMobil walks away with 91 million out of the 100, and Guyana is left to settle with 9 million. That's business. Brothers and sisters, that is business. That's what is going on every day in this land by our leaders. And every single one of them is silent. How much more can we take, man? How much? When are we gonna say something? This is Glenn Lal speaking. Please join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to talk about these types of business this country going on with. Namaste to all of you. Brothers and sisters,
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Give me some. 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 My son. Whoa! Don't feel that I'm thirsty when I show baby. I want give it to ya, 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 I want give it to ya, baby. I want give it to ya, honey. I want give it to ya, sweetheart. I want give it to ya. Where you wind it, turn me on. Like the mountain I overcome. Wine it so sweet as a death for some. Come give me some sweetness, darling. Pan the roll like a brand new car. Pop the string like a overtime. With connection, raise the temperature. Come give me some sweetness, darling. Roll it 'cause she getting on, 'cause she in a heat when I turn the pressure on. Oh gosh, turn it on. Oh gosh. Roll it 'cause she getting on, 'cause she in a heat. She want to jump in the wall. Oh gosh, just hit the right spot.
I really want you walk up on the thing, girl. Who's back and get wild on the thing, girl. Face down on the thing, girl. I must have take up no on the thing, girl. I really want you walk up on the thing, girl. Who's back and get wild on the thing, girl. Face down on the thing, girl. I must have take up no on the thing, girl. You ever get hooked up in a bar yet? Or jump down on top of a car yet? You ever skate in a bicycle bar yet? But in it when you face for the target, I'll put it on the edge like a ashtray. Let me roll over you like a driveway. Treat you like Labor Day on the parkway. I make you gallop like a horse on a race day. I really want you walk up on the thing, girl. Looks back and get wild on the thing, girl. Face down on the thing, girl. I bust a TikTok, no on the thing, girl. I really want you walk up on the thing, girl. Looks back and get wild on the thing, girl. Face down on the thing, girl. I bust a TikTok, no on the thing, girl.
What you looking at? What you looking at? Can you handle it? Can you handle it? What you looking at? What you looking at? Can you handle it? Ay, say I the boom boom boom. So me tick it on the engine. Give me the boom boom boom. Give me the thing that I make my ball. Ooh, give me the boom boom boom. So me tick it on the engine. Give me the boom boom boom. Me and the thing that I make my ball. Ooh, beat it like a big pan. Bang it like a iron. Fix the thing for my, fix the thing for my darling. Wind it up now, can you handle it? Wind it up now, are you working it? Wind it up now, all up in my business, doing your business like your business. Say I the boom boom boom, so me ticking on the engine.
Give me the best wine. Give me the best wine. Give me the best wine. Hey, give me the best wine. Boss girl, boss body, boss attitude, boss money. You want the wine over big bang for me, girl. You want the big girl. Just give me the boss wine. Yo, jump it down, girl. Touch up your body now. Just give me the boss wine. Yes, free up yourself, girl. Jiggle now. Just give me the boss wine. Hey, back now. Show me the action. Just give me the boss wine. Give it to them. 'Cause you know that you have no stress. Hey, girl, say you look good and your body good. Say you smell.
Something strictly facts, from front or the back. One big girl's team is a snack.
Take your time when you walk, girl. Take your time on this road, girl. Bidi 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 dum dum. Ruba duba 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 dum dum. Brudum brudum. Dung de dum dum. Banga dum dum. Bidi bidi dum dum. Ruba duba 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 dum dum. Bidi 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 dum dum. Brudum brudum.
She want a sessa, a real hot stepper. When she step in at the room, a big black and dresser. She want a sessa, a real trendsetter. Blue notes in her pocket 'cause he have real cheddar. She want a sessa with big beretta. Extend the clip, rubber grip and copper. She want a sessa 'cause she want a Gucci and polo, big chain and necker. Cause she a sessa, sessa man. Big long chain and big slave band. Cause she a sessa man. Big long chain and big slave band. Cause she a sessa man. Big long chain and big slave band. She want a sessa who fresh I could handle. She race and apply real pressure. Cause she a sessa man. Big long chain and foam posits. Them gal wet like
one thing with me know, hot gal don't whine anymore. Gal just bounce and back out on the floor. Check out the gal drop when the bass fling down on the road. Yes, gal don't whine anymore. Gal just bounce and back out on the floor. Check out the gal drop when the bass fling down on the road. Yeah.
Hey. Splash, body wet up, wet girl, where the man them prefer. Drip drop when I wine and bubble, body wet like prefer, baby. Splash, body wet up, wet girl, where the man them prefer. Drip drop when I wine and bubble, body wet like prefer, baby. Splash.
What you call that sauce? Kinda wine make man what he cause. 'Cause them want me single, them man want to mingle.
Where you are? Lose this, want to taste some of sweet juice. Give you the wine, but you have to work for this ride. Splash,
body wet up, wet girl with the man them prefer. Trip drop when I wine and bubble, body wet like river, baby. Splash, body wet up, wet girl with the man them prefer.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees.
Turn around and bend.
On the Brooklyn gal left, and the Bajan gal left. Yo, boogie, team again. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees.
Turn around and bend. Wind to the ground and bend.
Wheels on the bus go round and round and round. Wheels on the bus go round and all through the town.
She go up, down and round and round. I search for this something for she moan and down. She go up, down and round and round. I belly hurt up when she sit down on the stone. Yep, heavy yet, wait left down.
Inside my body, everybody.
I could bring my friends and you could bring your friends, and we friends will all line together. Just decide who house will I'm in. This is right here in the back. Yeah, we go tingy-licky. Israel vibes and we put in iron right here in the back. Shut in the kitchen, grab a pot and then start fitting, you hear me? Ping, 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 pating, ping, 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 pating, ping, ping, this ain't no carnival, ping, 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 pating. So bring my friends and we bring your friends and we friends will all line together. Just decide, you done hooked me already. Could it be your cute pretty face? Could it be the oil in your waist? Make me feel like a hot to chase. You hooked me already. Girl, you're smart, you know how to spend. When you take care of the children, this should never end. But if you want me to go, you can be looking the way you do.
do. You can be cooking the way you do. You can be hooking me.
If you want me to go, you gotta cook in the way you do. You gotta cook in the way you do. Because I'm in that.
Come on. I don't know what to do, so I'm pleading. Plus you give me no reason. You tell me this the end of the season. Mash up we think dress so. But you don't understand when you watch me. I said just be that I win the lottery. Or you go pick up dress so and then dump me. No, baby, no. But your back on me clothes in a garbage bag. You put it on the ground by the roadside. You tell me get out your place to come inside. Baby, don't do me that. You go break me heart. Can't believe you're ready to give up on me just so. Cause if you want me to go, you can be looking the way you do. You can be cooking the way you do.
Tell me, how you gonna bubble like that, baby? Look like you want me to get a heart attack. The way you whine in your waist set good and sit down on top. Then you bend up your back and you start push back. You give me good love. I wanna give you right back. Tell you bend up your back and you start push back. You give me good love. I wanna give you right back. Just start push back right back till you feel it. I want you to feel it, feel this love, can you feel it? This body is yours anytime that you want it, girl, can you feel it? I want you to feel it, feel this love, can you feel it? And I tell no lie, I'm gonna work all night till you feel it. So y'all start wind up if you feel it. I miss a bubble up your body, girl, feel it. So I'm gonna take a little drink, and I'm gonna do what I want. Wine if I feel like, and I go live how I want. Hey, so I go take a little drink, and I go do what I want. And I go wine if I feel like, yeah, and I go live how I want. You don't know the vibes is work hard, be harder, 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 work harder. Have a little money in the pocket 'cause I just got paid. I could do it a little more, but I'm still irate. So now I'm stepping out to a party. Trouble when I link up with my friends and family. Give me the bass. Yes, you. Any gal can bubble in a trouble. Any gal can bubble in a trouble. Any gal can bubble in a trouble. Wine to the bass and wine to the trouble, gal. Any gal can bubble in a trouble.
Any gal can bubble in the trouble. Any gal can bubble in the trouble. Wine to the bass and wine to the treble, gal. Bubble, 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 bubble. Turn it around and me say bubble, 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 bubble. You and your friend and me say bubble, 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 bubble. Turn it around and me say bubble, bubble.
Red gal gon' send you mad, mad. Red gal gon' break your heart. Take it easy. None of them red gal them could please me. Most of them only want your money. See, I don't wanna red gal them. Most of them is problems. Yeah. See, I don't wanna red gal in my life, no. And I don't want a red girl in my life, no. Red girl gon' send you mad. Red girl gon' break your heart. And I don't want a red girl in my life, no. Them red girl, them don't have no behavior.
This one is for all the woman them who like little boys. This one is for all the woman them who like little boys. This one is for all the woman them, all the woman them. What like little boys? Little boy, you not be studying at the thing. Big woman pull up back hearing. She know be wash.
This one is for all the woman them. Well like big man. Well like big man. This one is for all the woman them. Well like big man. Well like big man. This one is for all the woman them. All the woman them. This one is for all the woman them. Them well like big man. Well like big man. Oh Lord. The butter fella she not do. Half for me and half for you. Young man, when you not do what you be do, she a go give with the soup on you. White rice, you see this one? This one is gonna take you into 2021. It's the General. Pablo G. Gucci Boss. Every time. It's the Kaieteur Falls record. Only just one. Watch it. This one is for all the woman them. Well like big man. Well like big man. This one is for all the woman them. Well like big man. Well like big man. This one is for all the woman them. All the woman them. This one is for all the woman them. Them well like big man. Well like big man. Oh Lord.
I don't want 1 girl, 2 girl, 3 girl, 4, 5 girl, 6 girl, give me more. 5, 10 and 20 more. I just want them more. I don't want no one woman. All I want is plenty woman. Give me plenty woman. Yeah. Dansez, dansez, dansez with me, baby. Fini danser avec moi. Come take a little dance with me. Dansez, dansez, dansez with me, darling. Fini danser avec moi. Come take a little dance with me. All I want is sweetness, baby. Why don't you come sweet me, honey? Fire in your waist, baby. Why don't you come burn me, honey? Voulez-vous, 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 voulez-vous danser avec moi? Voulez-vous, 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 voulez-vous danser? She like man we ride, big ride, big ride, big ride this man we ride, top right, top right, top. She like man we ride, big ride, big ride, big ride this man we ride, top.
What's up, my need? so invested in you. Cause I really feel a vibe every time you set the right down. And nobody like this, man, it has nothing like this, and it has nothing like you. Nothing and nobody like you. And every single time we touch, so I never wanna stop because I always wanna let you know that I love you so much, it's and nobody like you. Nothing and nobody like you. So make me ball out. Long time is a over you. Long time is a over you. Make me ball out. Long time is a over you. Long time is a over you. Because you're special to me. Special to me. Very special. Very special. Whoa, whoa.
I don't know if you come here with your man, but I'm telling you now, you're my woman. I don't know if you inside here with your side man, but I'm telling you now, you give me that jamish feeling. Jamish, jamish, jamish feeling. Jamish, jamish, jamish feeling. Jamish, 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 jamish feeling. Jamish, jamish, jamish feeling. Hold your air waiting, anticipating. I want to jam on somebody that I know. I ready? Pull up in the face, get looking really. I want to jam,
baby. So me tell them, oh yeah. And let me start on fire. Ooh, bamboo fire, make so, make so, make so. Bamboo, bamboo fire, make so, make so, make so. Bamboo, bamboo fire, make so, make so, make so. Bamboo, bamboo fire, make so, make so, make so. The girl a bubble and a bubble and a bubble tip up. The girl a double and a double and a double it up. The girl a bubble and a bubble and a bubble tip up. The girl a double and a double and a double it up. She need more wood for the fire. I got the good wood she desire. Any bet she want to my buyer. In she DM, book a reply. I will wind up, I will grind up. Tell the fire, spark inside her. If she dry, I make she wet. Make her say, oh gosh, oh gosh. Careful what you're doing. Careful how you're living, baby. This is not a movie. Live your life, but you could take it slow. Take it slow. Oh, 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 oh. Tell them we could be. Oh, girl. You will get excited, I know, girl. It's gonna be hard to fight it, baby. Girl, they'll try to pull you down, but I know you are strong. Yeah, you're a beautiful lady. You're a queen every day. Yeah, don't get caught in the matrix. Don't go looking for ratings. No, I just want to see you shine. Girl, show me your light. Tell them wicked people, fire go Monday, fire go Monday. Whoa, oh Lord, I said this is the year for love. Fire go Monday, fire go Monday. Oh, still little boy, you ain't bad at all. No, another one just gone. By your feet, your chest and smile. Say you's a madman. Another young boy fall. Your soul can't rest at night. Oh, you's a bad man. Bad man is a man who just defend woman and protect the young ones by any means, Lord. You ain't no bad man, boy, now. You ain't no bad man. A real bad man just make his own decisions. You don't need anyone. He only needs God. You ain't no bad man, boy, now. You ain't no bad man. So, sit down, rock back. Tell them I don't need no strap to defend my people. I'm wicked and evil, whoa.
Hey, bring all your friend them. Hey, hey, everybody drinking. Hey, hey, who cares what they thinking? Hey, hey, spiff, 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 spiff. Everybody singing. Oh, we don't have no behavior. Total disorder. Don't cross the border. Don't cross the border. Bartender, hurry up with my order. Boy, the whole place get turned over. Can't play massive afraid powder. Everybody know every time we touch them splinters. That's my show. Fine, fine, fine. No Holland pull up. Fine, fine, fine. Everybody put your hand up. Every girl start whining splinters. That's my show. Fine, fine, fine. No Holland pull up. Fine, fine, fine. Everybody put your hand up. Every girl start whining. No, they can't drink like we. None of them can fit like we. Can't have energy like we. Full of stamina, full of vibes like we. Find something from the time that we reach. Tricks gets combined. But you are telling me, I know you're watching now.
Marshall Montano. Here we go.
Boy, don't touch me like you're going crazy. Let go me hand, let me jump up in the band. I don't want nobody to come and stop me. Leave me, let me free up. Myself, let me